the meeting will be available offline also. Ivana, please begin with the presentation.
Thank you, Dario, for the introduction. Now I will share my presentation, just a few seconds. Can you see the presentation?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So hello everyone, my name is Ivana Gače and I'm a PhD student at the University of Zagreb, Faculty of Electrical Engineering and Computing. And today I'll try to explain you the prototyping in Figma. I will try to explain what is prototyping and how you can prototype in Figma. Here is the outline of the presentation. I make a presentation into 4 sections, let's say. Every section is represented with its question. The first one is why prototyping. The second, what is prototyping? Third, how to prototype. And the final, what did we learn today? Key takeaways. So let's start. Why prototyping? I will try to answer this question with a short illustration with what I would like to tell you why prototyping is important. So let's imagine that there exists a toy shop where you can buy different toys for your brother or sister. Especially this toy shop is managed by these 2 people, and they want to increase their revenues and they want to get new customers. So they decided to engage a programmer to provide them a mobile application for their toy shop. They have some specific requirements and they listed them all, and the developer check and discuss all misunderstandings, and he understands everything and they have a deal. He will make an application. He is happy, he started developing, and this is a special and good opportunity for him to earn some money. He's finished and he's ready. He can wait to show the application to the toy shop owners, and they are stunned. Everything is great. They really like the application, but they just want to change the color, this orange color, to a blue. And the developer said, "Oh, no problem. I will do that in 10 seconds." And he did that. This is just one possible scenario, but there is another one. These managers of a toy shop can say, "Oh, it is okay, but we want to change, for example, these 4 categories to be a drop-down menu. Or we want to put this Get Start button in the middle of a home screen." And at this point, developer is shocked because he needs to develop the whole application again. He needs to reorganize that. It maybe will take him 2 days or even 1 month. And this is the risk when you, when the first time when the customer see your application is when it's already developed product. So it is better to show him a prototype of a future work. After we defined why it is important, now we will define what is prototype. What is prototyping? Prototyping is a process of making a prototype. But prototype is a working model built to develop and test design idea. This design idea can be a simple mobile application, can be a car, can be some electronics, or it can be even building. From the context of digital products, a prototype is simulation of the final interaction between the user and the interface. And in the web and software interface design, prototypes can be used to examine content, aesthetics, and interaction techniques from the perspective of designer, clients, and user. In the previous example, the designer was a developer, clients were the owners of a toy shop, and user is every person that will use that mobile application. Now, usability professionals often test the prototype by observing user while he or she is using the prototype. And they gather data and user mistakes and comments, and according to their mistakes and comments, they reorganize application and change the flow of a whole application in order to be suitable and better for the final users. After we defined what is prototype, we will discuss how to prototype. Before answering this question, I will explain what is the fidelity of prototype. Fidelity describes how easily prototype can be distinguished from a final product. It refers to the level of details and functionalities included in a prototype you've made. So it can vary in interactivity, some visual context, in the context, in the comments, and in a lot of other areas. According to the fidelity, we distinguish two margin areas. It is a low fidelity prototyping and a high fidelity prototyping. So let's see what is low fidelity prototyping. On the left side, you can see one example of a low fidelity prototype. And this low fidelity prototype has some basic characteristics. According to the visual design, these visual attributes are represented with the shapes, and they are just representing some basic hierarchy. For example, here you can see a rectangle that is crossed, and this represents a placeholder for an image or for something else, but in this case for an image. According to the content, only the key elements of the content are included. For example, you can see that this here section is the section about this, and the every picture have a title and author. That is just a simple content. According to the interactivity, the top prototype can be simulated by a real human. What that means? That when you have this low fidelity prototype, you will say as a presenter of this prototype, this part here you can go through this part with the scrolling, also with this part here. So let's define. Low fidelity prototyping is a quick and easy way to translate a high-level design concept into tangible and testable artifacts. And the first and most important role of a low fidelity prototype is to check and test functionalities, rather than some visual appearance of that prototype. However, this low fidelity prototyping has its pros and cons. The first one is inexpensiveness. That is a good thing because for making low fidelity prototype, you don't need some specific tools or specific knowledge. You can just use a pen and paper or, for example, paint to draw your low fidelity prototype. The second thing is that low fidelity prototyping is fast. You can in 5 to 10 minutes draw down your low fidelity prototype and whole ideas that you are brainstorming for a future project. The third one is collaborative. Everyone can collaborate to make low fidelity prototype because you don't need a specific knowledge about design or anything special. So everyone in the team, even if it's not designer, can be included. The last thing is clarifying. The low fidelity prototype is good because users and stakeholders for who you are presenting this prototype can know what they can expect in the future iterations of their prototype and a final product. The cons of low fidelity prototype are uncertainty during testing. When you show a user a low fidelity prototype, it does not contain all the elements, all the details. Therefore, some of the customers maybe do not understand all that components and how it will look like in a future steps. And the second thing is limited interactivity. the user needs to have their own imagination of how that interactivity will be now in this low fidelity and however in the future interactions. On the other hand, high fidelity prototyping is presented here on a right picture, and you can see that there are a lot of details. And characteristic of high fidelity prototyping is that there is a realistic and detailed design. They are represented or interface elements, spacings, and graphic looks. And content is also real or similar to a real content. It includes most or all of the content that will appear in a final design. And according to the interactivity, they are highly realistic in their interaction. For example, if you press here, this will be scrollable, also this here. So high fidelity prototyping appears and functions as similar as possible to the actual project that will be shipped. And teams usually create these high fidelities when they have a solid understanding of what they are going to build. And they need to either test it with real users or get the final design approval from stakeholders. However, high fidelity prototyping has its pros and cons. The first one, the pros is meaningful feedback during usability testing. That means that if a person uses high fidelity prototype, it is more likely that he or she will behave naturally because that prototype really looks like a real application. And you can get really good feedback from the users. The second one is the stability of specific user interface elements or interactions. That means that with the prototype, you can include some specific, let's say, animations, transitions between some elements, and you can see if people maybe like the new idea, the new interaction, or you will take the old one. The third thing is easy buy-in from clients and stakeholders. This means, for example, if you want to make a new application, it's better to make a prototype of that application than develop it, because with the prototype you really can show a real product, and maybe you can present that to clients, and they can invest in your prototype because it represents clearly what will be the final product. The concept of high fidelity prototyping, it's a higher cost, both from the time perspective and financial. From a time perspective, there are much more details, and you need much more time to do your high fidelity prototype. And from a financial perspective, you will need special designer if you are not designer, or you need to pay for special licensing, professional licensing, to use some specific tools. After we defined what is prototyping, and after we defined the difference between low and high prototyping, now I will show you how to prototype on one simple example. I choose a messenger application. I choose that because I think it is the most similar between the iOS and Android users. Picture, you can see a low fidelity prototyping. On the left side, I draw a simple low fidelity prototype just using pen and paper, and with this it is just like, let's say, the first idea. Then on the right picture you can see also low fidelity prototype known as a wireframes. Those are prototypes that are made also in Figma. But as you can see, they do not have pictures, they just have content is short, there are no much details. And now we will go to live demonstration. We will do a high fidelity prototyping in a tool Figma. So now I will close the presentation and switch to Figma. Just a few moments. Now you can see my screen.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you. Here on this page, you can download Figma. You can download desktop application, and also there exists a mobile application for Figma. It is a live device preview. We will see. You will see that when I will show you all functionalities. You can just open Figma in the browser. I downloaded this application for Windows, and you can see it here. On the left side, you can see all the groups that you are included. I'm now included in all of your groups. So just a reminder, please, all of you that do not send me your email, please send me so I can put you in a group. Now I will go to my INNOSID group and I will make a new project. You will also need to do this into your projects when you start doing Figma prototype. I will call this Messenger Live, my new project, and I will set here that everyone in the INNOSID group can edit it. Okay, this is my project, and I will open it. As you can see, you have a lot of tabs here, and this is those Messenger Live, the project that I just made. Now I will try to explain a basic tools and basic component of this user interface. Starting from left side, you have some basic things like file edit and so on. Something which is helpful here is those plugins. You can go plugins and browse plugins in community. There are existing plugins that from which you can easily get something. For example, I installed this plugin Iconify, that is the plugin to get the icons, and there are also there is another one. The good one is, you can search here, is I think it's yes, it's here. With this plugin, you can easily get images, and they are nice and with the good quality. So I offer you to also download this plugin. Okay, let's go back. I will go here to the tab of my Messenger Live. Now the second tool is a move tool. With this tool, you can move objects in this canvas. This gray area is called canvas. It is place where you will put everything what are you using and doing for your prototyping. For example, this is a rectangle. I will put a rectangle, and with move, you can move it around here. On here on the left, on the right corner, I just put my on-screen keyboard, because when I press something, so you can see that I'm pressing some of the, for example, I press now control, because in some cases.
Just a second, may I interrupt you?
Yes.
Is anyone here in the chat in this meeting trying to implement this, what Ivana is doing? Anyone? Okay, so it seems that we have people who are trying to do what you are doing, so maybe you should give them some time to reproduce what you are doing, so...
Okay, no problem. Thank you, Dario.
You're welcome.
I'm too fast, just tell me. Here is my Figma. Okay, I'll just explain you the main tools. Afterward, I will make a live demonstration. So maybe it's better just to hear the main tools. Then when I will demonstrate, we can do together. So this is just a move tool. And you have also here a scale tool, because when you scale some object, if you want to scale the same from both sides, you will do this. Because when you have a move, you can scale like this, and maybe it's not. Also, you can scale like the same way when you press a control and you go up and down. Okay, now we can delete this. Now frame. What is frame? Frame is a place what represent your, for example, mobile phone, or for example, your tablet or a computer. That is place what you will see in your prototype. Now I will delete this so we can go further. This is a shape tool. You can use a different shape, rectangles, ellipse, lines, and so on. Here are a pen tool. You can draw by yourself some shapes, and you can delete it. Here is a text box. You can write a text. This here hand, I'll just put some rectangles so you can see for what is hand useful. You use hand to move your canvas, because if you have more than one shapes on your canvas, it is easier to move it like this. Okay, now I will delete it, and at the end here is the comment. You can write you can post your comment, because you are all collaborating. This is very good tool if you maybe like or don't like something, and someone can reply okay, and when it's finished you can just resolve that and it will be gone. So it is good for commenting, or also for your supervisors it's good for comment your prototype. Now let's go to the right. Here you will see who is collaborating with you. Now here is Ivana Gače. That's me, but this is here because I have opened also the browser. Here is a play. Here you can share your prototype. You can share with specific, let's say, some can edit view or view prototype only. You can share with a link or with an email. You will see that when you will need to share. Here's spray button represent the real, let's say, put your prototype in a real mobile phone, but we will do this later. And here you can zoom, but however you can zoom, just make this, you can zoom your screen with control and scrolling of your mouse. So it's better than go here and press like this. Okay, but usually you scroll probably with that. On the left side you have layers. Layers are a specific hierarchy of elements on your frame. You will see that later, so we will go further. Assets are special components that you can use in a multiple frames. We will also do this, so you will see also that. Page, you use page, for example, if you have more than few version of something. So for example, this will be a version 1. This is just one possible example for what you can use paging. You can use it for everything else you want. I will duplicate, so this is the same, it just copy paste. And for example, my version 2, I would like to change this into red color. So you can see you have saved the previous version and you can save a new version. This is good, for example, if you want to change color of some buttons or something else, you want to see is it maybe better like this or like that. So we will delete this. Okay, we will leave this, but we will delete a page. Okay, I think we can start now with the prototyping. Here, this right side, I will explain you further while I will prototype. As I said, I decided to make a messenger. So I will now paste a screenshot of my messenger. The first screen is a home screen. So
Can I ask you, why did you decide to implement the messenger?
Because I think that is most similar between Android and iPhone users, iOS users.
Okay, thank you.
So this is just a picture to look at how it will look. So first we need to make a frame. On the left side, it is always some specifics about element that you select. We now select a frame, so we can choose a phone or a tablet or a desktop or anything else for what we are going to make our prototype. For example, I will use iPhone Pro 11, and this is the real size of that, so I'll just make this smaller and put next to this so we can start and make our prototype. So first thing, as we can see that this prototype has these elements are the same. Also this here, it is picture, name and text. Here is just a picture icon that is active and the surname. So we will just make one of these elements. I'm just zooming it in. And now I'm holding Shift because I want to have a similar circle. This is, okay. Now I'll have to have this little, okay, I will make it smaller. And it needs to be somewhere here. When you press some of these elements, you can see that here everything is changed. For example, if I press frame, here is change. If I press the circle, everything is changed. So when you press something, that refers to it. And I want to make a fill to be a green. And as you can see, there is a little white stroke, so I will put a stroke around it. It is a white color. It is maybe bigger, so I'll put it, no, 0. I'll put, for example, 2. Or maybe 3. Okay. Now I just need a name and a surname. I will use a text box and I will write you name, surname. And when you have a text, you have here a special like alignment. You can put it in the middle. Additionally, you can change the style, the size of it. And it is important here to have, it's interesting, you can make a new style from an existing style. For example, I will put here plus and I will create new style and the name of it will be name style, for example. And I will create that style, and when I put something new, I can choose that style to be the style of the text. I'll put here in the middle. You can see that everything is centered. Figma is good because when you go somewhere, you can see it, is it centered. Additional thing for your frame that is good is a grid. Grid helps you to center everything and to everything to be aligned. You can have a grid, you can have a columns, you can have even rows. I'll choose, for example, columns. This margin is a margin from these edges. I'll put it, for example, 24. And this is the distance between two of these red lines. So I'll put it, for example, 16.
Sorry, one question. When you use the grid lines or columns, are the elements auto-aligned, or do you have some command to align them?
No, this is just let's say a background, and you can. Oops, sorry. But you need by your own put this like this and said, oh, this is aligned with this. It is just a marks. It does not help you that it is aligned by tone. You can also move these lines just to close this eye. With this, you just make that disappear. This is just a guide. This does not appear in a final product.
Okay, great. I would like to ask you if you can go just a bit slower, because I'm having a hard time following you.
Okay, Dario, thank you. I'll be much okay. So grid help us to align elements on our frame. Okay, let's go back to this component. We make a circle, we make this active button, and we make a text. We will put this maybe closer to the element. One thing that is good, it is according to the plugins. So when you in this circle, it's good to put a picture. So you mark that circle, and with a right click, you can go to the plugins, and you see all the plugins that you have installed. As I said, for the pictures is good this pixels plugin, and it opens you, and you can search everything what you want. For example, car. And press enter, and he'll give you the picture of a car. Or you can search a person, and you can put here a person. And now it is fit to a circle. Okay, now when we have a profile and put this circle and a name, as I said, this component is repeated. So when something is repeated a few times, or you have buttons that you use usually, you can, let's say, collect all of this with select all of them. And here is a special element what you can use. It's here, create component. When you press that, you can see you now have a component that consists of name of this little ellipse, and the other ellipse there is picture. This is good because with this component you can copy and paste it. I will copy it. Is it also possible with pressing Alt? And you can see that mouse is now duplicated, and you just drag and drop, and it is copy pasted. I'll do one more time. Why this is good? Because if you, for example, want to change something here, for example, you want to make this to be a red, no green, you can do that on a master element. On a first element, you make component. In this case, that is this here. And you can see the difference between this and between these copied parameters. They do not have, they are empty, these rectangles. So on a master component, if you want to change something, you can do here. And every of the instances will change, you see, which change it. I will put it back to the green. But if you want to change only one component, for example, I want to change a picture of this component, you can go again, plugins, pixels, and you put another person, for example, this here. And this will change only this component. Okay, we can do also with this, just get the circle plugins, and we can change to profile and maybe put this here. Okay. Now we will do the second components. Those are these here elements. So we will need again a circle. It have name. And when you click here on a text box, you have parameters according to a text box. So as you know, we made a style for this text, so also we can change this text to be the same style as this here. And we will do that here. Just we will go to styles, we will choose a name style. It is already name style, but for example, we can see that this is maybe a little bit bigger from this here, but it is the same font. You can press this button here and make it bigger. Maybe it's too bigger. Okay, this is the name, and I can copy paste this, and I can just write down here a message. It will need to be wider and a time. You can see that this message here is also smaller, so we will put them like the same style as up here. So we can go to here, and we can choose a name style, and we can align it to the right. So it's it. And maybe we can put this a little bit bigger. Again, this component is repeated more times, so we can make also, we will group that with a new component, create a component. Now we have a new component. You can change names of an area of a component, so maybe this master component we can change to the chat line, for example. And we want to change this picture, and we know how to change it. Right click, plugins, and you run your pixels, and again you write the profile. And you put the profile here. And again, how we can duplicate it? We will press Alt and drag and drop down. Again, we'll press Alt and drag and drop down. As you can see, they are not aligned. You can select them all, and there are special tools for alignment. You can use this here, and they will align to the left, align to the horizontal center. We can see this align to the left. They will all go to the left. You can see they are all centered to the left part. Additional thing, you can see that maybe this distance between these two is smaller than the distance between these two. So if you have something in the row, you can use this tool here to distribute the same distance between all of them. So now we can just put this next to this. Okay, now we can see how it looks without these grids. maybe. So we press this. This is the main screen. Now we can put this footer. We will need a rectangle. We will put a rectangle, and we need to make them to be white. We will go here and choose a color. Up here in the corner is a white color. However, you can see that there is this line, so we can make a stroke that will be a gray color. You can also, there are a lot of functionalities. You will see what is the best option for you. For example, here you can put a stroke outside. For this case, it's better, so you can see only this upper line. Now we need to put here these icons. We will put icons the same as we put the pictures. So you go right click, you have plugins, and you can choose icon. You can download different plugins. For example, I have this one, and also I have this one. For example, I will choose a chat icon. This is one that is the most similar to this one. Okay, I will use that. I will import. Okay, it's here. As you can see, this icon is inside of a frame. You see, this icon represents a frame. This is a frame, and in the frame I have all of these elements. Those are the layers. This, and if it's something inside of something, is hierarchy, as you know. Okay, now we will just take this, we'll go closer, and we will just take this element and put it down here. We will make it bigger. I just scroll them, but here you can just put it back. It's probably 118. Okay, and now as you can see, I will need to flip that to the other side. There is also option to flip horizontally or to flip vertically. I will flip horizontally, and I can make it bigger. And this is, for example, chat screen. And I will also add a people. Also right click, plugins. And here is the icon of people. I will import that. I will close this, and I will just take this icon and I will put it here. And also I will choose, for example, this scale tool, because I want it to scale it similarly. Okay. Maybe bigger. Okay. Now I will go back to move tool. This we can change a color. We can change to a gray color. Okay. Now you can group specific elements so that they represent some specific, because they represent something. For example, this here we can group because it is footer. So with the right click, you can make a group selection. That will make a group of these three elements. It's good, for example, if you need copy paste something, you will take this and you can move it all together. Okay. Now we will put maybe this little bit down. And this also. Okay, now we can put this search. You just use a rectangle. Rectangle, if you go closer, you don't see now, but if you go closer to the rectangle, you will see these dots, and you simply remove these sharp edges, and we can change the color. It's here. Instead of choosing this here color, you have also option to use the previous color you used, or you can even press this button and, for example, take a color from here. For example, if you want a yellow color, but we will put it back to a gray color. Okay, now we need to put here icon for a search. You also go right click, plugins and icons, and we will go to search. For example, this here is a good, and I will import that icon, and it's here. And you see it's not similar, so I will use this scale tool to make it bigger from all sides the same. And I will move it. I need to go closer. Okay, you see that it's different from here. We can flip it on the other side and also change the color to this, for example. And we will put here inside. We will make it smaller. Okay, and there is a text we can write. And also change color to a gray, and we can simply put that inside. Okay, now I'll just make this profile part. It is a circle where you put a photo. You go right click, plugins, and we will put this one. Okay, we also need to have chats here. And when you type text, here you can see that have a name style, but we don't want to have that style. We will make it bold, and we will make it much bigger. Okay. Now there are much more details what we can include here, but now let's step to a next frame. We can change the name of this screen, as this is, for example, chat's screen. These frames here are all the frames when you import the icon, they left the frames, so we can simply delete that because we don't need that. So you can just press delete. Okay, now we have this chat screen. We will close them, and now we will make additional screen. I will import, for example, a profile screen. I will make it smaller, and this is the second screen what we are going to make. So first we need to put this frame. We will go here, iPhone, and this is the same screen, and we will change the name here into profile screen. Okay, now this profile screen consists of what? We will put this image. You can copy this here and paste, and you can just put this in the screen, and that is okay. We'll take this scale element, and you can make it bigger. Okay, now you need to put the name. maybe we can use this text here to make a name. So we will copy Ctrl Control C and Control V, and we will just drag and drop here to this canvas. And we will change image to my name. Okay, and now this is a little bit to the right. You can align this with these red dots, but also you have here alignment to the center of this frame. So if it's here, with this you can just align to the center. Okay. Now I'll just put this back button and this. I go to the plugins icon. I press back. I'll take, for example, this here. I will import. Okay. I will just put this here. I will make it a little bit bigger. I will flip it horizontally. I will just delete this. This is the frame of the icon when you import that. I don't need that. So now we have two main screens. These here screens, those are the photos. Those are just for example. Now we will see how this look on a mobile phone. So you go here to play option and it opens a new tab. How it really looks. So this is how it looks on a mobile phone. So you can see if you use iPhone, this is in the upper corner. And also you can...
What about this top part of the application where we have this notch that is specific for this device? Can we change maybe the frame so we can see the whole screen of the application?
Maybe I don't understand you well, but in this case, I choose, when I choose a frame, I choose, for instance, this iPhone. I can choose Android and we can... Is that what you ask, Daria, or
No,
I
when you
don't
go
really
to play,
understand?
please go
Okay,
to it.
okay,
Now, the upper part of the application where it says chats, we can
okay.
see a part of the application because of the design of the mobile phone and the design of the screen. Can we somehow take that into consideration when we select canvas and the device?
I'm not sure, but you, for example, you can just scroll this a little bit down.
Okay.
And you will see that it refresh automatically. So now you can see everything.
Okay, okay.
So this is good because you can see the screen automatically. And at this point, we just can scroll to the screens. We don't have any interaction in this screen. So we'll make interaction between these two screens. So when you press your photo, you will navigate to this screen. How we will do that? You select the element from which you would like to navigate and you go here to the properties. When you go here, you can see here a little dot with a plus. When you press that, you will see a line and you go to the screen where you want to navigate. I want to navigate to this screen. And this play button represent what screen is the first screen you start your prototype. And when we go here, when you press anywhere to the screen, we see that this part here is a little bit blue. It means that you can interact with this prototype when you press that where it is blue. So when we press here, we go to a new screen. Now we can go back because we don't have interaction to the back. So we can put it now. So we will select this back arrow, and we also have this circle. We press here and we need to go back. And it is same thing as it's open here, additional window where you can specify which type of interaction you would like to have. For example, you can tap, you can drag, you can, for example, hover that back button and it will go back. For example, we can try that. And in that case, navigate to a chat screen, which is correct. Navigate to a chat screen. So let's see how it looks like. So we go again to the main screen. When we press, we see that this part here is interactive. We press the screen, and now we see again this part here is interactive. And I go with mouse over here, it's go back. Because I put that when I hover, it's go back. Now I will check that, and I will put now on a hover, on a tap to go on a chat screen. Okay, now we can see what's going on. Now it is again this interactive. When we press, we go to this menu and we are here. Now the interesting thing what the Figma has is the mobile application. So you can download the mobile application when you will do your part. I will now just show you how that functions. So in a mobile application, you also need to log in with the same account you are using here. And it says select the frame you want to show on your application. For example, if I select this frame, it started to loading, and on my mobile phone I see the real how it looks like. So, and it's also in interactive. And I press the profile, I'm going to the profile screen, and I can also press back and I'm going to the back screen. This is good because you can see, for instance, maybe some icons are big or they are small, text is small, text is big. So this is a good feature when you will do your application to see how it looks on a real mobile phone. Okay, those are, let's say, the basics, what it's good to know on a Figma. So maybe we can go just through all of the elements together one more time. So if you have sub-elements that are repeating, it is good to make a component of it. We make a component with this here mark. And when you have a component, there is one component that is a master component. And when you change something on a master component, every component is changing. For example, if I press here N, every of these elements got N. That is the first thing. The second thing is the alignment. So you can select all the elements, and here in design, you can align them how you want. Okay. The next thing is these plugins. Okay, right click plugins, and you have icons, pictures, or anything else you found that is interesting. You can easily get them and use all that plugins. You don't need to import external pictures into your Figma canvas. The next thing is those how you go from interactions, how you go from one screen to another and from another to back to other screen. You just select the element and here show this, and you navigate to the other element. Figma offers you many different features. For example, one of that is scrolling. On a real messenger application, you can scroll this here. So maybe I can show you how you can make that. Okay, I will just copy few of this. As I said, you can go copy paste, or you can press Alt and drag and drop your picture. Okay, now I see that there are not, I will select them all and I will go to design, and I want to put them like they are in the same line. I will place alignment vertically, and also I will put it that they are in the same distribution. Okay, now I think they are. To make a scroll, you need to select all elements that will be a part of that scrolling element. So with the right click, you need to make a frame of all of these elements. And here in a prototype, you can have a component horizontal scrolling. But first, you need to put this frame to be where is your application. So frame represents what are you seeing, let's say. So we put now that this is scrollable, so we don't see it. Something went wrong. Okay. I'm not sure why. We can go back.
Your frame 1 isn't in the chat screen.
Aha, okay, thank you. Thank you. And now you can see, we can scroll to it. As I said, everything what is on screen, it needs to be in your frame. Thank you for the comment. So this is, you have a lot of different ways to do something, but most important are those interactions between the screens. And also these plugins are very helpful for navigation and for making a prototype. Do you have any questions regarding this Figma prototyping? Do you understand anything, or do you now get some basics about prototyping in Figma? Maybe you can write comment if you are.
This is the most important part of the virtual mobility, since the most important deliverable that you will give us is the prototype in Figma. So in order to complete the virtual mobility, you need to understand how Figma works. So for Andy, it was straightforward and easy to follow. What about the rest of you?
It was amazing, Ivana. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all for the comments. As you use, some of your projects uses emerging technologies such as VR and AR, augmented virtual reality. Maybe that part will be challenging for you because now I represent just like original mobile application. So maybe that will be challenging for you, but there exists different videos and Google sources where you can find a way how to make the virtual reality components. So if you need help or anything, you just can tell me and I can help you. But these are the basics of elements, and I just want to show you this. Now I would like to continue with the presentations. There are only 3 to 4 slides, if you are fine with that. I'm not sure if you have any questions, but I think I can maybe continue to the presentation. Okay, after we demonstrate the basic things and tools in Figma, I will give you a short key takeaways. Here is somehow a Figma cheat sheet. I highly recommend you to try all the functionalities I explain now with just one simple example. For example, this messenger you can use. Also, there are a lot of YouTube videos and you can learn from them a lot. And there are also a lot of sources on the internet. And now there are some links that are useful to me. Maybe they will be useful to you. It is first, here is some design inspirations. I'll just open you. I have here, for example, this Behance. You can Google anything what you want, and he will offer you the possible. Those are the real designers made designer, for instance, like Google mobile applications. And you can see how they implement something, and maybe you can inspire it with their example, how your application can look. The other thing is icons. I already showed you that you have plugins for icons, but Google also offers you to Google a specific icon, and each icon you can download as SVG and PNG. The difference between SVG and PNG is that SVG is vector component, and when you scroll it, zoom it in and out, it's always like a perfect. There is no, let's say, it will be perfect. There is no buzzy things between them. Those are, oh, sorry. Those are the icons links. You have also the other links where you can find icons. And here are the links for the pictures. Those are all free pictures, but you need to attribute the author. So you can Google here, for instance, car, and you can get really good pictures of that what you search, but also you can use it, that plugin what I explain in a Figma. And here's also additional link for some backgrounds. If your application, if you want to have a bright background, you can use this. And on this slide, you can see a milestones of your prototype development. So the first thing what you need to develop is a first version of a software prototype. You need to deliver that to your study expert. That is the low fidelity prototype. I show you the messenger. When I draw out the messenger low fidelity, it is just a place where you can put a picture, and there are just basic content of your application. And at the end of 5th month, you need to deliver a high fidelity prototype. This messenger, what we program in Figma, it is an example of a high fidelity. It is how your product will finally look like. Here are some references, and that's all from me. Thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, maybe, or something to tell or say, I'm open for the questions.
Thank you, Ivana. Everyone, feel free to ask questions now if you have some. If not, Ivana, can you please mute yourself because I hear myself double? If Vid made a solid argument that this presentation will help you to solidify the knowledge when you start working on your prototype. Keep in mind that this was only the demonstration of Figma's basic functionalities, the elements, the layout, how to connect screens and such. So once you start working on your prototypes that use emerging technology, like Ivana mentioned, virtual reality, you will have to implement some advanced. You will have to have some advanced manipulations with your prototype, and for that, you will have to do your own research. When we created your teams, we made sure that at least one member of your team has some experience with Figma, so that should be helpful enough. However, if you come to some difficulties that you can't solve within your team, feel free to contact us, namely Ivana, since she will take on your Figma challenges. Once again, if you have any questions, now is the time to ask them live, because maybe your questions will help other students. If not, this will conclude today's lecture. Have a great time, and also organize the meetings with your supervisors. Some of them did not contact you yet, but they will till the end of this week. And that's it. Thank you for the attention, and tell your colleagues that this meeting was recorded and they can take a look at it later.
Thank you, everyone, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Goodbye.